Just when you thought the Bulls were going to allow the Pacers off the hook, DeMar DeRozan throws his cape on, drops 48 points, and leads the Bulls to an overtime win. Let's talk about his performance and more right after this. Listen, if you clicked on the video, you know who I am. You know what we do. The Chicago Bulls Breeze, part of the Windy City Breeze, giving you all things Chicago Bulls. We got a good one for you today. DeMar DeRozan, the Chicago Bulls beat the Indiana Pacers 132 to 129. And just when we thought in the moments in the fourth where the Bulls had a lead, kind of gave it up, didn't think they were going to pull something off. Again, DeMar DeRozan shows you why he is the king of the fourth, throws on that cape, leads us to overtime, and comes up in a clutch. Let's break this down real quick. First off, let's just get this out the way. DeMar dropped. I have him at 46 here. Someone else had him at 48. He dropped nearly 50 points. 46 is what the NBA.com is giving him. 48 was what ESPN gave him. So if anyone's trying to sit there and say, oh, he doesn't know, I'm just letting you know, hey, they be getting the stats wrong out here. But I'm going to give him 46, 9, and 3. But what really amazed me about this particular game, if I'm being honest with you, what really, really amazed me about this game is that we didn't have one, we didn't have two, not didn't have three, but we had 6 people in double digits. With DeMar over 40, Alex Caruso with 23 points. He knocked down a couple trades, something we've always given him flack for. 3-point shooting just not has been his forte. He knocked down several trades for us. Nikola Vucevic not having the best of games, but still giving the double-double. And I will say this, when I say not having the best of games, matchups matter. Indiana and the way that they run, the way that they play, and also, you have to really be in tune with this particular game. This is a matchup nightmare for Nikola Vucevic. It's not necessarily that he's weak. Some people are always on the trade Vuce thing. They don't know basketball. But again, matchup nightmare. Ayo Dosunmu giving us 20 and giving us some clutch buckets in overtime. Gotta shout him out. Coby White, who we will talk about a little more later, as we did end up losing him in regulation of a freak play. Strong, basketball play by Pascal Siakam. We're not going to sit there. It wasn't anything dirty, but unfortunately, our boy came down with an injury. We will get more as we go along in this video. But Torrey Craig also coming in with 10, just balance scoring. And I love the fact that everyone participate, everyone made themselves a threat on the floor. And it wasn't just a situation where if you didn't watch the game or didn't have the opportunity to even look at some highlights, you would think that, oh, DeMar goes for 46 points. What happened? Realistically, was he ball hog and stuff like that? A lot of it happened within the flow of the game, which is what I liked. And then again, other people made themselves threats. You have to sit there and commend what we're doing. Is it necessarily where we want to be? Probably not. Realistically, we had higher aspirations. But again, if you look at this team now, you look at what we're doing without someone who we thought we were going to actually build around as Zach LaVine, you're getting really good production. You're getting really good ball. Yeah, we're going to have some up and down moments, but that's what you should expect, especially when you're now leaning on other younger players to help lead the charge, to be beneficial and to be victorious within the last closing stretch. And right now we're 2 games under 500, which sounds really daunting, but when you really put it into perspective, we're not that far off from the Pacers, who are considered a playoff team, and they're a really good team. Don't get me wrong; they are definitively in a playoff position. But as you can see in the West, and now you can see in the East, the gap between these teams. If the Bulls get on a nice run, they can find themselves in a strong playoff position. That's just what the league is, and this is what we all should be proud of. Parity now exists in the league, where you have a situation where the end of the season used to not mean anything. Now we can actually see, with the parity and things of that nature, not only does it mean anything, but you really have to show up, because the Bulls can go out and win their next, let's just say they win the next 7 out of 10, but someone catch and they get on a nice strong heater, but someone like the Pacers finds themselves dropping 6 out of the next 10. That makes up significant ground. And at the end of the day, although we are 5 games behind them realistically, it just shapes up to be a more competitive situation than not. So it's not over. I'm not going to write them off. It's not the results we wanted. We thought we were going to have a stronger team, but games like this show us what we're capable of. Now, let's get into some real highlights. Not some real highlights, but break it down a couple of things. The Bulls shot 52% from the field. We're not going to get that every night. We've a couple games ago, we saw we weren't going to get that every night, right? But the Bulls shot 52% from the field, and they shot 35% from three. They actually shot better from three than the Indiana Pacers, which is commendable. Again, the Bulls have not been known as a three-point shooting team. And when we do shoot the three ball, we weren't known for doing it at a high clip. When you have the individuals on the team like Alex Caruso, knocking down open trays and stuff like that. When you really start to see that mojo going in that space, it makes us a very dynamic team. One thing to not take away from it though, because it's not just 3-point shooting. Again, having individuals play confident, competent basketball. One of the things that we've always been harping on, especially with some of our young players, is are they playing competent, confident basketball? Is Coby White out there playing confident basketball? Well, as you can see, I have him down as most improved. And it's not just because I'm a Bulls fan. He literally has a strong argument to say, hey, he's most improved. I know there's some other people who you could probably put in that category, but a lot of them were probably some of the names I'm hearing, they were already technically starters and had larger roles within their organization and teams. Coby White is literally stepping into a space where, he had a premier guard in front of him. That didn't work out. He takes a full advantage of the opportunity. We're going to have a whole nother breakdown for that. But seeing that happen, seeing Coby White play his best ball, seeing Ayo Dosunmu, which is something we really want to highlight now. Ayo Dosunmu has been attacking the basket, really figuring out his game, understanding where his strengths are now. His game is still evolving. I want people to give credit and grace for that. His game is still evolving on a professional level, but he's playing. He's just doing what he does best. He's attacking the lane. He's hitting the gaps at angles that allow him to get to the cup. He's finishing strong around the basket. Some of the things that we actually killed him for early on in his career, he's improving in these areas. As much as we hate to sit there and do the whole, it's continuity, we're improving, stuff like that. Iowa as a ball player is really improving. If you're going to have Coby White start at the one, you're going to have him at the two. He needs to be playing strong, confident basketball and be someone who they can depend on to get a bucket when necessary outside of DeMar DeRozan. And he showed up today. And I want to give him his kudos for that. Now, last but not least, we got to break down DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan did exactly what DeMar DeRozan does. At a certain point in the game, at a certain point in a game this close, you need your best guy to go against their best guy and get a bucket. And that's exactly what he did. And he didn't do it just once. He did it multiple times. What I mean by that is in the regulation, there was a moment where he had to miss the shot. It had to be a miss that actually put us in a position to get a rebound. Not only did it force Indiana to actually commit a turnover, but he repeats the next play by making a smart cut underneath the basket, out to the left or right side on the baseline, fade away through a jumper. Kobe Bryant-esque, obviously. Michael Jordan-esque, if you want to say that. Beautiful ball. Beautiful ball. And he's been doing this for a while. We know what it is. We know what it is with DeMar. We ain't got to sit there and ask. We ain't got to ask no questions. We ain't got to sit there and debate about it. But it showed up majorly tonight. In ways that I'll be honest with you, I don't know, man. This is DeMar at his age. You're saying, I know a lot of people are sitting there saying, do you really want to sit there and extend him, stuff like that? The Bulls, he's making a strong case as to why you have to extend. You have to give him the opportunity to continue this, because since he's gotten here, it's totally been a revamp of his career. He got traded to the Spurs, and people thought that was over, that we weren't going to get the same DeMar. He got here and really, really overhauled and changed the image and perception of himself. And I can't be mad at it. I can sit here and say, well, it took opportunities away from Zach and hindered P. Will, and there may be some truth to that. But at the end of the day, you got to show up and do what you need to do. And that's what DeMar did. DeMar shows up, has been showing up, has been putting the team on his back, has been carrying the team in the biggest moments, and he continues to do so at such a clip that when it comes to being in the fourth quarter in these clutch moments, he's absolutely earned the right to get this rock. He's absolutely earned the right to take these shots. And you can't be mad about it. There's no one on this team, even with Zach on the floor, that I would rather have taken those shots. And again, and time again, he shows us why he deserves it, why he is the king of the fourth. It just is what it is. You have to give credit where credit is due. And so DeMar DeRozan putting the team on his back. But again, it was a total team effort. It was a total team effort to compete because the Indiana Pacers, for a lot of people are sitting there saying pace of play and things of that nature is going to always hinder them. The Indiana Pacers play to their strengths. Run and gun team. They ultimately had 7 people. Let me count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if Nimhard didn't sit there and take those stupid threes at the end, I don't know what he was thinking. I guess he thought, I mean, I guess he normally hit them. Whatever. If he didn't take those ill-advised shots toward the end, they probably have 8 people in double digits. It's a tough team to beat when you got 8 people in double digits. Heck, if all 8 of them just had 10 points, it's 80 points already. They had 129. So clearly you see where I'm going with this. It's a hard, it's a tall task right there to sit there and stop a team where you have that level of balanced scoring. And the Pacers spread the ball. They run fast. They are a tough team. They're still learning. They're still learning. Don't get me wrong. They still make a lot of mistakes that we capitalize on, but it's not, they're not a pushover. And so it's good to see that not only were we able to get this dub, but it's against one of the better teams within the conference who have a snowball's chance or a fighting chance to actually put pressure on some contending teams. And so again, if I'm in a play-in tournament, I don't want to see the Pacers, but it is what it is. Last but not least, we got to talk about Coby White real quick. Unfortunately, it looks like it is a hip injury. Now, the severity of that, I'm getting very conflicting reports, just like I got conflicting reports on DeMar's point total. We gotta sit there and talk about that. NBA.com and ESPN. We gotta figure out what the heck is going on because I got one thing, y'all gave me another. But Coby White's injury is still, this is still going to be a developing story. It is relatively new, but it is a hip injury as reported. Now we've seen some players have some. I hope it's not serious because we've seen some players come down with a hip injury before, and it totally changed a lot of stuff within their career. I mean, obviously, I don't think it's that serious, or I hope it's not that serious. Rather, I don't want to sit there and give any bad vibes or negativity toward this one because Coby White has been balling, and I would hate for him to actually be in a situation where he can't finish out the rest of the season or actually help us within the playoffs, playoff tournament type play-in tournament, excuse me, or just to cap off a good season for him. Like this is his breakout season. He absolutely deserves the right to finish it on a high note, even if the Bulls themselves don't have strong success. I would love to see him be able to go out and put together a strong body of work on this one. But as it stands right now, he will undergo further testing. And when they get back to the Chicago, we do have a game tomorrow. That's important. The Chicago Bulls will be sitting there playing the Clippers, if I'm not mistaken, and then the Washington Wizards after that one. So we still have a tough game coming up. I highly doubt that he will be available for that game. If Coby White plays that game, then good, right? Realistically, good. We need him, realistically. But at the same time, I also don't want him to push himself if it's hurt because, again, a hip injury could be serious. So the Clippers are tomorrow, 7 p.m. Again, doubtful. I can see that already. Doubtful, but we'll see from there. But the Wizards, that's on Saturday. I will actually be at that game, so hopefully it'll be a game that we can actually he either plays, and I can give you all some firsthand things of what I'm seeing. But all in all, I'm hoping Coby White gets well. I'm hoping that he can actually return to the floor soon. This is the last push. We're entering that last, we're 32 and 34. Where is that? 66. At this point, we're entering that space where we need to win as many games as possible. But it's also one of those things where Coby White and the rest of the Bulls team gets to put out good tape and really show and give us hope for the future. If this is a situation where we don't qualify for playoffs, it would be nice to see them cap it off in a large way. So again, shout out to DeMar for carrying the team as always. Shout out to the rest of the team for stepping up, and we pray that Coby White gets well. This is it for the Windy City Breeze and the Chicago Bulls Breeze today. We appreciate everyone that tuned in. We're going to keep this thing rocking, keep this thing going, and hopefully the Bulls give us a lot more to cheer for. This was really good. Let's go get a dub with the Clippers next tomorrow. Till next time, y'all. Peace.